Hey folks, welcome back. I am the Middle Management Gamer and welcome to my channel. Today we are talking about restaurants. I find at this channel as a place to talk about video games and also restaurant work for all those people who are just trying to make it through one more shift so they can get home and relax a little bit in front of their favorite video game. So today I have a little story about something that started out small and got blown way out of proportion. But before we get started with that, I'm going to introduce today's game. The game we're playing today is Elden Ring, and if you do not play Souls games, I completely understand. They are super stressful. They're a lot of fun, but they are very stressful, and you basically walk on eggshells the whole time you're playing unless you've got good, which I haven't. But the reason I'm into playing games like this is because they are super, super stressful. You can make one mistake, it can cost you an hour worth of work if you haven't saved recently or backed up your souls in some way. Um, so when I get really stressed out playing this game and then I go back to work, it's a different type of stress and it kind of just mellows me out. So it's kind of like a counterbalance to the stress of the day-to-day workings of working in restaurants. So without further ado, Elden Ring and my little story. And Elden Ring. So, as I said, this is a game I play when I'm a little stressed out at work because, again, when I play this, it kind of mellows me out a little bit because it's a different type of stress. And when I get past it, I felt like I've accomplished something. I know that sounds really stupid. Why would you feel accomplished after playing a video game? Trust me, if you're a gamer, you understand. If you're not, you never will. You know, go build a birdhouse or something, whatever makes you happy. This makes me happy. So that is. Or you like stream content. I do have some content that I streamed from when I played this game when it first came out. I played it pretty heavily. I haven't touched it for a while. But the story that I'm going to tell today led to a little bit of undue stress, which had me pull this out of the woodwork so I could start playing it again. I've been playing the game for about a day now. My character is, I think, level 18. That is the backstory. So, on to the main story. So, if you didn't know, I went on vacation about 4 weeks ago. Me and the wife. It's been a while since we had had an actual vacation. If you follow the channel, you know why we hadn't really gone on a full-fledged vacation in a while. But suffice it to say, it was a big to-do, and I spent several weeks leading up to the vacation planning to make sure that I'd be able to go and enjoy the vacation and not have to worry about anything happening or anything going awry so we could focus on ourselves and have a good time. And my staff did a really good job of not calling me. Made it through the entirety of the vacation except for the last 2 days. My managers had to call me to ask for my advice on some situations. Not a big deal. Um, did a great job. However, about halfway through the vacation, I received a message from one of my other managers who was on a sabbatical or starting her own little sabbatical from the restaurant. Um, and it was regarding our soda slash ice dispenser at the restaurant. The other managers had sent her a question about it rather than sending it to me, and she wasn't really sure how to handle it, or she did handle it. I can't remember the long and short of it, but anyway, the ice machine slash soda machine stopped working. So they ended up calling out the HVAC specialist who work on refrigerators and HVAC, obviously, and then the soda specialist. The soda specialist showed up first, informed us that it was a issue with the ice auger motor and that they couldn't repair it, that they would have to dismantle the motor or unplug it, and then the rest of the unit would start working. Basically, what the unit was doing was it was shorting out and blowing the GFI so that the unit wasn't on. And anyway, by doing this, it allowed it to continue to make ice and continue to dispense soda. But it was making the ice, but it wouldn't dispense it because the ice auger, if you don't know, is this little motor about this big that's inside of the soda slash ice machine, and it spins a Ferris wheel that grabs the ice and shoots it down the chute. And there's also like a little arm with blades on it that spins like this to shuffle the ice about. So that motor was dismantled, and they told my manager on duty at the time, I found this out later, that it was a ice issue, not a soda issue. That is what they told them, or that is what was told to me by the manager. I'm not 100% sure what the text said the first time because I was on vacation when they showed up, but that's what was relayed back to me. It is an ice issue, not a soda issue. So it took almost a week. Actually, it took a week and a day for the ice repair people to show up. And the reason I'm calling it soda and ice is because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. I don't have any hard feelings with anybody throughout all this. It was a lot of rigmarole, but I feel that at the end of the day, as a restaurant manager, I take care of guests. I take care of internal guests and I take care of external guests. And an internal guest is a fellow coworker or another manager, or in this situation, a vendor. External guests are the people who come in and pay for the product. They're the external guests. They come in from the outside. They get product. They leave. Internal guests are people you deal with on the inside. Okay? That all makes sense? Got it. All right. So I try to treat my internal guests well. That includes vendors and employees. I try to make sure everybody's happy when they're dealing with whatever. It's important to me. So again, soda, ice. These are the two main players. It's us, soda, ice. And I just got attacked by a big bird with blades on its feet and he killed me. Cannot get distracted for a moment. It's got little blades on its feet. Anyway, so it would be a week and a day before ice specialists showed up. By this time, I was back from vacation. So I come into work, I look at the ice machine and the soda machine, I open it, I turn it off, I turn it back on. I do all the typical diagnostic stuff a lay person would do to fix the product. Your computer's broken, unplug it, plug it back in. Your router's broken, unplug it, plug it back in. The ice maker's not making ice, unplug it, plug it back in. I opened it, I detached wires that control the mechanism that you press on and makes it dispense ice, etc., so forth and so on. Nothing. So I'm like, oh, okay, so it is a problem beyond my control. I am going to need a specialist. I'm going to have to call in an internal guest to help me with this. At this point, soda's already come and already gone and said they couldn't do nothing. We're just waiting on ice to show up. So ice shows up that Tuesday. ICE specialist, not ICE, the government entity. Let's not get those confused. Anyway, ICE specialist shows up. The guy sits down. I'm over there doing scheduling and production stuff, and he's over there working on the soda dispenser and the ice machine. He's got the whole front end of it off, and he says, all right, this is your offending thing right here. He's a young guy, super nice. He knows his business, right? He's like, it's the ice auger motor. And I'm like, yeah, I knew that. Soda people already told us that. And he's like, well, it's right here in this piece of unit right here. It's going to be about $1,200. I'll go back to the shop and we'll send you an estimate and we'll get that ordered for you. I was like, all right, cool. So it's Tuesday at this point because I came back from vacation on Friday. We had to wait till Tuesday for the specialist to come in. So basically we went the whole weekend without ice. The drinks are cold. We'll get back to that. So the guy's like, all right, I'm going to go back to the shop. And I'm like, all right, cool. It's Tuesday. I'm typically off on Wednesday or Thursday. So I came back from vacation. I worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So it's been, at this point, a week and a couple of days. I go on my day off, Wednesday. I'm still checking my email at work because I'm a restaurant manager. I'm the general manager. So I spend a lot of time checking emails and talking to people at work, even when I'm not at work. I'm a salaried manager. It's just part of the gig. It's part of what we do, right? So still haven't heard anything from anybody. And I'm like, all right, well, estimate than they thought. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. I get it. Thursday rolls up. I pick up the phone. I'm like, all right, well, I'm back to work tomorrow on Friday, so I need to, you know, get them in there because I gotta have it fixed by, Friday. Because if it's not fixed by 5 o'clock on Friday, you're not getting a specialist out there because at that point it's time and a half, and nobody's paying time and a half for somebody to work on something. Something that costs $1,200 ends up costing $1,800, and in this day and age, it's too much for the cost of doing business. You know what I'm saying? So I call them up. It's Thursday afternoon. I call the ice specialist, and the guy says, "Oh yeah, no, we canceled that estimate because that's a soda problem, not an ice problem." I'm like, "Oh well, nobody's going to call me and tell me." Okay, I understand. I will call soda back. So I spend the rest of my day off, kind of fretting and being stressed out, and I go to work the next day. It's Friday, and I say, "All right, back to work. Here we are. It's Friday. It's Friday." Yeah. I call the soda people. I'm like, "Look, ice people telling me it's a soda problem," and he showed me where the part was, and it does appear to be a soda problem. Um, can I get a call back or get somebody out here to look at it? And I'm like, all right. So I did my due diligence. It's Friday. Machine's been busted for almost 2 weeks at this point. Um, but again, it's dispensing soda. There's ice in the unit. So the way these soda machines work, you got to have ice in them to kind of cool the drink as it comes through. And it also helps maintain the drink is not flat. That being said, the drinks are dispensed cold, but there's no ice. So we're having to tell every guest that comes in, hey, I just want to let you know that our ice maker's not dispensing ice. There's nothing we can do about it. We're waiting on the repair guy to come out and fix it. The drinks do dispense cold. They're ice cold drinks, all right? And some people are fine with this and some people aren't. So basically, over the course of this almost 2 weeks period, we've been telling our guests this every time they come in. Hey, the ice machine's busted. The drinks are cold. They're not flat. It tastes fine, but we don't have any ice to give you. We could give you a bottled drink out of the cooler if you'd prefer. We have iced tea, but we have no ice for it, so I would steer clear of that. I'm still making iced tea because we chose not to make iced tea one day when we didn't have ice, and a guest was still upset because we didn't have ice, but they still wanted the iced tea, which I get. But that same guest would probably come in the next day and yell at me because we have iced tea but no ice to go in it. So we just started making tea. Tea doesn't cost that much to make, etc., so forth and so on. If they choose to put ice in there, they can. Some people want to put cold lemonade in there. Our lemonade was still dispensing ice cold. It was great. Lemonade's good. You can put it in there, have a nice Arnold Palmer. Good stuff. Anyway, 4:45, 15 minutes before the 9 to 5ers are going to sign off and be done, I get a message from the soda company. The soda company is a big company. They have a big headquarters, got a lot of people working there. I'm talking to an account rep at this point. I've gone above the local, we've gone to the national. They're talking to me on the phone. I feel special now. I'm like, okay, I'm finally getting the treatment. Hey, I'm looking over the notes from the visit of the technician who came out to help you, and there's some confusion here. This is the rep telling me this. It looks like this is, well, the text saying it's an ice problem, not a soda problem. I went on to explain. I was like, look, I understand that. I understand what the tech's saying. I had the tech from the ice company come out, and they took the unit apart and they showed me where the offending part was, and I looked up the part, and it's a ice auger motor, and it's part of the actual soda dispenser. So I need somebody to come out and repair that. Okay, well, what we're going to do is, I think what we need is we need an ice tech there and a soda tech at the same time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on the phone and I'm going to have a tech give you a call to schedule that so you can get the ice company to schedule a visit at the same time. You'll hear back from us on 5 o'clock on Tuesday. So, Friday, I'm going into another weekend without a soda dispenser that dispenses ice for my guests. And now we're making an appointment to have the soda people and the ice people there at the same time so that they can come together to figure out what the solution is. So I call up the ice people and they're like, yeah, we can totally do that. Just let us know when the soda people are going to be there and we'll make the appointment. I said, okay. Soda's going to give me a call by 5 o'clock on Tuesday and let me know. And I'll give y'all a call back. I'm assuming it'll be before 5 so I can get with your dispatcher and we can have it worked out and then, we'll figure it out. He's like, all right, sounds good. So 4:45 Tuesday, no call. I'm already at home at this point because I got off around 3 and it's now like my time. But, I was still waiting for the phone call because that's what we do. Salaried managers, we handle problems like this in our off time. I make it all the way through Tuesday. I'm thinking, well, maybe they were going to schedule the tech by 5 o'clock on Tuesday, and then they were going to call me on Wednesday and let me know what was going on with it. I said, okay. It's Wednesday. I pick up my phone. I call the soda company. I'm like, hey, this is Tom at such and such restaurant, and I was supposed to hear back from somebody to make an appointment. Oh, sweetheart, I'm sorry. That's completely my fault. I am still in a holding pattern, waiting for somebody to make that appointment for you. I'm like, all right. That's fine. I get it. I know there's a lot going on. That bird killed me again. Every time I start getting to the meat of the story, this bird with chains on its wings and knives on its feet just messes me up. Anyway, I'm sorry, sweetheart. I'm in a holding pattern too. I'm just waiting. So here's what I'm going to do. Instead of setting up an appointment with the ice people and us, I'm going to do a video call. I'm going to set up a video call with you with a senior technician, and you can go over with him exactly what's going on with said soda machine / ice dispenser unit. Right? I'm like, that's fine. They're like, can you do it today? I'm like, well, I'm not in the store today. I'm off today. I don't go back until Friday. It's still Wednesday at this point, right? And she's like, all right, okay, that's fine. Friday, what time would be a good time for you? Well, we open at 11 o'clock and I get there around 10. So how about 10:30? You're like, yeah, the techs show up around 10, so 10:30 would be fine. That'd give them time to get situated, get some coffee in there. They'd be good to go, right? I'm like, well, I understand if 10:30 doesn't work for them, if they have other things going on. Another good time to call would be between 2 and 4. That's our slow period. That's where we lull in the restaurant on Friday, 2 to 4, because nobody's going out to eat between 2 and 4. They've already had lunch. They're prepping for dinner. They're going into their busy evening, And she's like, oh, yeah, that's fine. They'll give you a call. What's your number? I give them my cell phone number because, I can't do a video call on the store hardline phone. That's not going to work. So she's like, all right, sweetheart, we're good. They'll give you a call. Friday at 4:45. No tech has called me. I'm getting frustrated. We're having to tell every single guest that we don't have ice, but we do have ice cold drinks, and apologize to every single guest. So I'm running a pizza oven. I'm multitasking. I'm directing people. I'm talking to the guests, every guest that comes through. Even though I've trained my cashier to say it, I also want to say it and talk to the guests because interacting with guests is a very important part of my job, both internal and external guests, as we've discussed earlier. So I'm talking to a lot of these guests, and it's amazing how many people understand how soda machines and ice machines work. And I'm having conversations with so many people. They're like, "Oh yeah, that's the Manitowoc," or "Yeah, that's a Hashizaki," or there's a couple of big name ice machines, and I went with the two that I know off the top of my head because I don't want to slander the actual ice company that I'm using, because I don't want anyone to think that it's their fault. It was a whole lot of circumstance. You ever see that, like a piece of art where somebody built a brick wall on top of a book, and where that book is, all the bricks are skewed because, that one little thing, that one little hitch just, anyway, if you've never seen it, brick wall built on brick, etc., it's like impactful. I'm going to try to take out this bird again. So I call,
You there? Come over here, would you?
I leave a very terse message. Terse is a good word for the message I left. I wasn't mean, I wasn't rude, I was terse. I let my frustration come out in my tone of voice. Now, if you talk to me at the restaurant, or you talk to me in person outside of the restaurant, you will notice that there are two very distinct and different voices in how I talk. Because restaurant managers wear masks. They're invisible masks, but we put them on so that we can talk to people who aren't necessarily working with us, either guests internal or external, in a way that's constructive. If you have an angry guest who is being disrespectful towards your staff or you put on this mask so you can deter their behavior towards your staff, towards you. That's what we get paid for. I let my mask slip for a little while I left this voicemail message, basically stating, "Hey, I had an appointment last week. Somebody was supposed to call me and set me up, and nobody did. So I called back, and they set me up an appointment for somebody to call and do a video call with me. Nobody ever called. It is now 4:45. Y'all are about to close. I'm about to go into another weekend without ice, without drinks, for my staff, for my guests, internal and external. We're unhappy. Please give me a call back." At this point, it's been 2 weeks plus since the ice machine went down. And I'm mad. Back up a few steps. When the estimate from the ice repair company got canceled, the franchise owner, my boss, great guy, love working with him. I love the company I work for, and I love working for them. He's a good guy. He looked up the motor, and we ordered the motor ourselves. So this $1,200 motor, that's how much an ice auger motor costs. It's $1,200, is coming in the mail. I'm throwing fireballs at this bird. I don't think I'm going to be able to hit him from that far off. We're going to try to hit him here. Nope. Yeah, take that, birdie. That was way too easy for me to have died killing that guy twice. Anyway, got my runes back. That's all that's important. So we have the motor. It's en route. I have not received a call back from the home office of said soda company. The lady, the account rep that I reached out to, she still has not called me back. And I'm referring to right now, this moment, I'm sitting here recording this. She has still not called me back. But that's beside the point. I'm not even angry. I'm sure she had a lot to deal with. I'm just a small cog in a big machine that soda company has to deal with. So I'm not saying I'm unimportant. I'm not being down on myself, but I get it. At this point, she might even know the outcome of the rest of the story, so maybe that's why I never received the call back. I don't know. But anyway, The part shows up. It is now Tuesday, going on to week 3. The part shows up, and I talked to my boss, my manager, and he's like, you know what you need to do? Just call Soda Company, call the local distributor, not the main one, and tell them that you have the part that is making your soda dispenser not work. You just need somebody to come out and install it. I said, well, that's a great idea. I'll go ahead and make that appointment. And he said, in the meanwhile, I'll come over to the restaurant and we'll see if we're capable of doing it. And I said, that is a good idea. Maybe we can fix it because we're both pretty handy. Pretty handy. I can repair stuff. So we make the appointment. It's going to be on that Friday coming up. They're going to come back out. But anyway, that Tuesday, he comes back out, and my boss, and we sat down, and I show him. I was like, I know where the part goes because the first guy who took it apart showed me. He even showed me what was broken and everything. I think we can get it in there. I looked up the machine on YouTube, and I found a video of somebody installing it. Oop. Oop, there, it died again. Basically, the video was 3 minutes long. The guy opened the front. He took it. He unplugged something. He said, and then you just attach the cotter pin and it slides right out. And I said, okay. So we take the front of the machine off and we're looking at it. I was like, yeah, there it is right there. We just removed these 4 bolts. And then it says we just undo the cotter pin and it slides right out. So we undo the 4 bolts. We look in there. Can't reach the cotter pin. It's inside the machine. So we open it up from the top and we look in. And the machine's full of ice because it's been making ice. And we realize this is the miscommunication that's been going on. It wasn't that soda couldn't work on it because it wasn't a soda issue. Soda couldn't work on it because the ice machine and the ice was in the way. It wasn't an ice problem. It wasn't a soda problem. It was the ice machine needs to be moved so that the soda machine technician can pull the pin out so this motor slides out. So I called the ice machine people and they said, yeah, we can get out there on Tuesday. At this point, it's Tuesday. He means next Tuesday. I say, okay. So I call a couple of other ice companies and I have somebody come out and look at it. And he was like, oh yeah, we can take this ice machine off. Won't be no problem. We'll give you an estimate for the labor and everything. And I'll call you back. So 2 days go by. I haven't heard anything. So I called them and I was like, hey, what's going on with getting out here to repair the ice machine? Oh, well, the boss decided we didn't need to give you an estimate. We just, instead of giving you an estimate, we're just going to base it on time and labor. And that way, if it's easier than we think, you'll pay less. If it's a little more difficult, you'll pay more. I was like, that's fine. When can you get out of here? Oh, we don't know. We're booked out for about a week and a half. So I hang up the phone. I'm sad. I'm very sad. So we're going to go with the original appointment with the original ice people. I call Soda up, and Soda says, so you're going to get somebody to remove the ice machine, and then we can come out and work on it. I say, yeah. I'm like, he was like, well, here's my personal number. Super nice manager, dispatch guy. I know his name, but I'm not going to say it now. Super nice. Gave me his personal phone number. He said, as soon as they come out and start working on it, give me a call. I'll get you a rep out there. It might not be immediate. It might take an hour or so, but we'll get you somebody immediately. You've dealt with enough. So it's Tuesday. We got another week till they're supposed to show up and work on it. I go to the store, I buy a cooler. And some of you are probably wondering, why didn't they do this to begin with? But I bought a cooler, a big old cooler, and I set it 6 inches off the ground using a riser right next to the cash stand. And I filled it with several bags of ice from the local grocery store. And we started scooping ice into our cups and giving it to the guests and saying, hey, our ice dispenser doesn't work, but the drinks are ice cold, but I do have some ice back here I can scoop into the cup for you so that you have ice. Because at this point, I've fielded about 30 guest complaints on the phone. I've called these guests, I've reached out to them to apologize because they were upset that we didn't have ice. Because when you have an issue like I don't have ice, all of a sudden the guests start seeing everything that's wrong. I didn't have ice. My pizza was supposed to have 7 mushrooms and it only had 6. There was 5 pieces of pepperoni. One of them was thinner than the other piece of pepperoni. And my kid left his toy in the bathroom, and that's your fault. That's how it works. So for the next couple of days, we shell out about $30 for bag ice over the course of this week. And the reason I didn't do this to begin with was because of the cost to the restaurant, and also because I kept thinking it's going to be repaired tomorrow. Somebody's going to be here tomorrow, because that's the way people kept making me feel like it was going to be. Oh, we'll be there tomorrow, or we'll be there the next day. And then the people weren't calling me back. So it just kept getting put off and put off and put off. And now I'm at week 3 and we're scooping ice for the next week for the guests. It's Friday, going into the weekend before the repair people are supposed to show up on Tuesday. And our internet goes down. And we start using the backup internet system. In the backdrop of the ice machine issue, there is the internet. And if you've ever had an internet problem, you call them up and they ask you, well, did you unplug it and plug it back in? Did you unplug the coax and plug it back in? Yes, I did all that because I'm smart enough in IT to know that you're going to ask me to do that. Okay, well, we're going to have you do it again. Okay. And then they send a reboot via the phone, and it reboots it again after I reboot it. Still no internet. I'm like, look, it's connecting to the box. It says it's connected to the internet. It just won't give me internet. And they're like, okay, well, we'll send a tech out there on Tuesday. So now I have Ice Company coming on Tuesday. I have Soda Company coming on Tuesday. I have Internet Company coming on Tuesday. And we're using our internet backup throughout the entire weekend. But about halfway through the weekend, the internet company calls me and says, hey, did it suddenly start working? No, it didn't suddenly start working. Well, we're trying to cancel your appointment because we got a lot booked that day, and we're not sure if they're going to be able to help you. So we're going to try troubleshooting with you again. Can you reboot this? Yes, I can reboot this because I'm trying to be nice to my internal guests that I'm talking to on the phone, and they're not in this country, and I'm not complaining about that. People need jobs, and sometimes people in this country don't want to take the jobs that people in other countries will do. So it is what it is. But I have a hard time understanding this person. They're talking very fast with a very thick accent, and that's fine. I ask them to slow down. They do. They're very polite, super polite, but they're making me go through all the same steps I've already done. And I reboot it. They reboot it. Then they tell me it's your modem. So can you take it to the nearest local store for the internet and change out the modem? I was like, oh, can I do that? And they're like, yeah, you can do that. And I'm like, all right, well, let me do that. So I make an appointment for the next day, Saturday. Sorry, Saturday is the day they call me back. It's Sunday. I make the appointment for to go take it back. And I go over to the store and I hand them the modem. And it's like, hey, they told me my modem's probably bad. Can you help me out with this? And the guy looks at it and was like, okay, yeah, sure. Let me take it to the back and see if we have another one. He goes to the back. He's back there like 5 minutes. They're very understaffed at the store, and I feel for him because the guests in this particular location are just being rude because they thought I was just going to come into the store. I had an appointment. I was going to be here for 5 minutes. They're going to take care of me. But no, they had call outs. So even the people like me who had an appointment and the other people are sitting there waiting for a long period of time. The guy comes back out. He says, "No, we don't have the modem. We don't keep the business modems in store." And I was like, "Well, do any of the stores nearby have it?" "Nah, you'll have to wait for the tech to show up." I was like, "Okay." So I go back to the store. He keeps the modem, gives me a receipt so I don't have to pay for it. It's not going to come out of our rental agreement anymore since it's not working. You shouldn't have to pay the rental cost for something that's not working. Cool. I have a receipt. I go back to my store. I call the people. I'm like, "Look, we tried to change out the modem. They said the modem was bad. I still need the tech to come on Tuesday. Can you put a note that says that we need a new modem for the store?" She's like, "Yes." Different person, same thick accent, same talking fast, but very polite. Gets me appointments set up for me. Um, My boss buys a modem. I hook it up. It connects to the connects, but doesn't connect to the internet. So we end up having the same problem. Whew. Try to deal with these birds again here. Got my shield. All right, here we go. She's like, "No, we can't do that. You're going to have to wait for the tech. It won't let you connect. Sorry. Even though it's compatible with our system, doesn't work." I'm like, "All right, that's fine. It is what it is. I'm down." Um, so basically, we're using the backup system, internet. Now, at this point, I start receiving messages from home office for our store, not the franchise owner, but the actual home office for the company. And they say, "Hey, you're using the battery backup. This is expensive." I'm like, "I know it's expensive, but I don't I don't have a choice." So after talking to two or three of them, they're like, "All right, well, just let us know when you get it repaired and we'll get you hooked back up to the internet." I'm like, "Oh, that's great. I greatly appreciate your help." Super nice. All of them in the IT department, they're all super nice. Just They just keep getting the signal and they keep reaching out to me because they obviously don't want us to be paying extra for internet when we have perfectly good internet that should be working that we're already paying for. So that's where we're at with that. Now it's Tuesday. The ice repair company shows up at 8 o'clock on the dot, exactly when they're supposed to be there. It takes 20 minutes for them to remove the ice maker. I do end up having to help them carry it off, but literally like 20 minutes. I let them on the roof. They detach the pipes. They bleed the lines. They disconnect it. They move it over. They're super nice. As soon as they got there, I asked them how long it would take. They said about an hour. I talked to the dispatcher. He's like, "Yep, we'll get somebody out there this afternoon." I'm like, "Well, I was hoping for earlier, but this afternoon's fine." And I camouflage the ice maker over in the corner of the restaurant. Cable guy shows up. He comes in. He's been out of shape, not with me, but with his company because of I'm telling him of the situation, what's going on. I'm telling him about going to the store and trying to pick up the modem. He's like, "They don't have the business modems at the store. Who told you to do that? That person doesn't know how to do their job." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And he said some foul language and apologizes for it. And I'm like, "Oh, you don't have to worry. It doesn't bother me. I'm a restaurant guy." Ah. Our internet's now working. I call home office. They put us back online. Everything's good. I go home because it's Tuesday. And still waiting on Soda to show up. Soda finally shows up at like 3:30. He says, "Yep, I'll have it fixed in about an hour." I'm not there anymore. This is being relayed to my staff. I tell them, "Call me as soon as the representative shows up so I can reach out to the ice repair people and get them out there." And they're like, "Okay." So I get home and I go for a walk, and it's a long walk. and I'm walking at about 3 miles an hour, which is not a super fast pace, but it's good, nice exercise. I'm building up a sweat. I have my weight vest on. I'm up there exercising and burning some calories, and I get back and I jump in the shower. And as soon as I put suds in my hair, the phone rings, and it's my manager telling me that the soda people are there to fix it. And I'm trying to jump out of the shower, and I still got the soda, and I'm trying to get to the phone because they need direction. And I'm like, all right. And they tell me, and I call back the ice people, and I'm like, hey, soda's there. I know y'all can't get back now because it's like 4 o'clock and y'all stop working at 5, and I'm not paying time and a half. And he's like, yeah, there's no way we'll be able to get there, but we'll get there tomorrow. And I'm like, thank you, I appreciate it. He's like, you'll be second call, so we won't be there at 8 o'clock like we were the other time, but we'll get there pretty early and we'll get you taken care of. And I'm super, super happy, and I'm super excited about this. And I enjoy the rest of my day. I play some video games, start playing this Elden Ring because the stress is up to here now. Even though I'm right near the finish line, the stress has gotten up here. And like my already gray hair is like turning white now. And I'm just ready. So I get up the next morning, it's Wednesday.
Come over here, would you?
And I call the store, or I send a text. And it's like, hey, has anyone seen the Ice Company? And they're like, yeah, they're here. They're repairing it right now. I said, we'll be done in just a second. And I'm like, oh, that's so great. I'm so happy. And we have ice, and we have cold ice drinks, and we have happy guests. And I go upstairs, and I put my coffee cup under the brewer, and I put my K-cup in there to brew my cup of coffee. And I hit strong, and I hit the ounceage from my cup here, and the coffee maker's broken. At home. And that's the end of my story. Because you got the restaurant, which is one half of your life, and you got the home, which is the other half, and you're always trying to balance them. And I finally got this thing at the restaurant fixed. Coffee maker. So now we're looking for a new coffee maker. Anyway, thanks for sitting through my story. If you did sit through my story, I hope you did, because it was a lot, and I needed to get it out there into the world so I could share it with y'all. But if you want to join me for some more Elden Ring, I'm probably going to start streaming it again, because the stress of that game is balancing the stress of work, and it's making me feel a lot better, and I'm enjoying it. And even though I didn't get a lot of playing, it's hard to play and talk at the same time. This game, I really need to focus on it. But if you'd like to see some more of that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing y'all again in the future. I do.